Hey guys, welcome back one and all to another Final Fantasy Record Keeper video. I'm Forte, and today I want to talk to you guys about KO resist accessories, instant KO resist accessories, and why they're important. Now, these things, it might not seem that great, mainly because it just says instant KO. Instant KO abilities usually come in the form of death or something like that, or a boss might have an ability that says they can instant KO you, like Gilgamesh's Zantetsuken ability. I think that's what it was, like from the multi-raid battle. And you're thinking, well, most of the time these things are pretty useless, right? But I'm going to tell you now that they're not. These things are actually very important, and out of all of the negative debuff resist accessories, instant KO ones are probably the most important, simply because they work on gravity-like abilities as well. Now, gravity is a spell that's in the game that does proportional HP damage. So, like it'll take like 50% of your HP or something if you get hit with it. Now, the reason why these are so good is because these will cause gravity type abilities to miss, because gravity type abilities in this game is coded as instant KO abilities as well. So if you have these accessories on, you increase your chance of dodging those proportional HP damage type abilities. And lately, with the game and how it's going, a lot of the bosses are currently having, a lot of the bosses are starting to have these proportional HP damage abilities. Bart's had it. The current Torment Dungeon boss has it. The one from Final Fantasy X. If you were doing the raid and you were that FF13 one, the ugly face boss, I forget what it's called, that had a proportional HP damage ability. So these ones are starting to become more and more popular, and that's simply because honestly, mitigation and debuffing is just too powerful in the game, and the only way to get over that is simply with these type of abilities, like the gravity type abilities that will get over mitigation. Like, against these abilities, no matter how much mitigation you have, they simply don't matter. Now, I understand that some of the players out there right now, they didn't start week 1 of the game, so they might have missed the accessories that were handed out as rewards from previous events, right? But it's not the end all be all. It's not complete. You're not completely screwed if you've missed those events, because chances are we'll get more in the future. But if you go into the relic draw right now and you get the Keeper's Choice Volume 2, now I understand that the available relics here are pretty garbage, because most of these are just vanilla or shared soul breaks. These, they're just not good. But there is one that, well, there's one or two of them that's good, and the best one in my opinion right here is this arm guard from the Final Fantasy 12 world, which, as you can see, the bonus effect on it is it adds minor resistance to KO. So if you've missed the accessories that were handed out through previous events, you could invest in one or two of these arm guards, and you can have at least a little bit of resist instant KO. Now, I have one as well. Sorry, let me show you guys. And honestly, the stats on it they're quite acceptable too. It's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, there it is. So for just a 5-star relic, you can get, if you're using a bruiser, you get 25 attack, which is actually pretty good. It's unaugmented also. You get decent stats all around. So I would invest making this, because if you take a look at this relic right here, this thing, this gold bangle from Final Fantasy 13. I mean, look, the stats don't even compare. The only thing that compares to the previous one was magic and mind. This one only gives 19 attack, 75, 77 defense and resist, and the other one had like 80 something. If you look at a fully maxed out gold bangle, I mean, look, 24 attack still doesn't add up, and the defense and resist is only a little bit higher. If you look at this one, 28 attack for a rank 8 piece of armor. Obviously, the defense and all the stats are better, but only by a very small margin. And keep in mind, this is only at rank 5. It's not at rank 8, right? If you get this to rank 8, you'll definitely get more stats onto this item. So from a stat perspective, this item is actually pretty good. And the fact that you can get some instant KO onto your team can really help you in the future. So do consider investing in maybe one or two of these, but unfortunately it will cost you 50 mithril. But the good news is the Keeper's Choice banner, it's not the worst banner in the world to pull for either, right? Gilgamesh's Masamune is a fantastic soul break. It pretty much gives you taunt and retaliate at the same time. Also, you can dispel. And honestly, Gilgamesh is just a good character overall. Celeste's soul break is pretty good. A lot of damage. And the best thing is it does non-elemental damage as the primary damage when you initially use this soul break, and then the burst abilities you get does water and fire, but on top of the water and fire they also do non-elemental damage, so you won't get walled by it. Plus Terra is just a fantastic black mage in general. There's Shoutin here, Ramza's platinum sword, whole party haste, whole party attack up, fantastic. Vanille's super soul, this one's okay. Like, you get protect and HP, but if you have a burst soul break, that's even better. But this one's not the greatest, but hey, it's in here. This Excalibur's fine, it's good soul break. And then Sentinel's Grimoire is in here as well, which, as you know, Sentinels and Stone Skin 2 are very important. They raise your defenses, resist and defense, by 200%. And Tyra overall is just a great character. So even though the available relics in here are really crappy, except for one or two of them. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that there's this thing too, the Chameleon Robe. This offers instant KO as well, resistance to KO, but I personally didn't get this one because it doesn't offer any damage stats, and when I'm using a physical team, that's what I'm looking for. But as I mentioned, the Arm Guard from Final Fantasy 12 is not a bad relic, and the relics you can get from the banner are pretty solid overall. But yeah, so that's my advice to you. If you've missed out on the previous instant KO accessories, they're starting to become more and more relevant as bosses start to get proportional HP, as bosses start to get abilities that do proportional HP damage. But yeah, I hope you found this video to be helpful. Do consider giving a like and subscribing, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.